Welcome back to the series of lecture on Abhignana Shakuntala. In the last lecture, we have already discussed some things about Kalidasa, the greatest poet of India and one of the greatest classical dramatists in Sanskrit language. So today we will discuss about the drama, and before actually going into the acts of the drama, we will just have an overlook of the drama here. So the drama Abhignana Shakuntala is considered as one of the most romantic plays across the world today. It is considered as one of the classic dramas written by anyone in the world. This drama is into 7 acts, and the main storyline is taken from the story of Mahabharata. And this story is quite popularly known as a beautiful love story. In fact, the couple Dushyanta and Shakuntala are considered as the icons of love and romance. Like there are many other icons across the world for love and romance, like Romeo and Juliet, as dramatized by William Shakespeare, and then Heer and Ranjha, and then the other like Laila and Majnu. So in Indian tradition, we have this pair, this couple of lovers, Dushyanta and Shakuntala. So the story is quite popularly known to all of us. I will today speak about the story as it is there in the Mahabharata. And of course we have to remember one thing, that since these stories are old and traditional, there are lots of versions which differ from one another to some extent. So we can't take only one version as completely authentic version. But usually the story remains the same everywhere. One or two characters in the story may differ. And of course, one more thing I have to mention here is that most of the times the dramatists make some modifications in the original story to adapt it to the present situations. So the dramatist, whether it is Kalidasa in those times, or it is Shakespeare in England in 16th century, or whether it is playwrights like Girish Karnad in Karnataka and Vijay Tendulkar in Maharashtra, no matter what they write or where they take the story from, they always make some modifications which are required to adapt it to the contemporary social situations. So while speaking about the mythological or the old story, they are at the same time, simultaneously, they are also trying to show the contemporary flavors, contemporary attitudes of people living in the modern world today. So it is a blend of old story along with the attitudes of the modern or contemporary generation. So we have to consider this fact not just while studying Abhignana Shakuntala, but while studying every drama in literature. So we need not blame a particular playwright for changing the story, because it is his right, his authority to change the story, and he says very much in the beginning that the story will be adapted for the dramatic purposes. So there is definitely going to be some modification from the original story into the drama. So before I discuss the story as it is there in the drama, I want to first tell you the story. Of course you know the story because most of you have watched the film Kaviratna Kalidasa, in which there is an episode with this story. And also, even if you have not watched that film, the story is quite popular because we all have the heritage of Mahabharata running in our veins. So I will give a brief account of the story as it is found in Mahabharata. So here is King Dushyanta. He is the progenitor of the Kuru race, Kuru dynasty. He is one of their ancestors, and the later Kauravas and Pandavas are his next generations, as we see it in the story of Mahabharata. And his son Bharata, he is the one who is known as the greatest emperor on the earth, and because of whom our nation is called as Bharat. So it is the story of Bharat's father and mother, Dushyanta and Shakuntala. So let me come to the beginning of the story here. Dushyanta is the king of Hastinapur, and it is quite popularly known that kings in the old times were fond of going into the forest for hunting the animals. It was a game of their entertainment and passion. So once, what happens? King of Hastinapur, Dushyanta, goes on a hunting expedition into the forests at the foothills of the Himalayas. And Himalayas, we all know, even to this day, are home to many of the ascetics and saints. So similarly, in those times also, Himalayan foothills were all the places where sages lived in different hermits. So there is the hermit andre ashram. So there is the hermit of Rishi Kandva in the foothill forests of the Himalayas, where once King Dushyanta goes in search of a game while he is hunting. So he chases a spotted deer, and chases into the forest where he comes close to the hermit of Rishi Kandva. When he comes close to the hermit of Kandva, he sees a beautiful young woman and falls in love with her. She is none other than Shakuntala. Now going to the background of Shakuntala, Shakuntala is the foster daughter of Rishi Kandva. Kandva did not have his own son or daughter. He had taken care of this girl whom he had found as a baby. In fact, Shakuntala was the real daughter of Rishi Vishwamitra and Menaka, the celestial nymph. And this story is quite popular. So, Shakuntala grows up in the hermitage of Rishi Kandva, and she is all the time surrounded by ascetics, and she knows the life of the ascetics very well. So when the king comes near the hermitage of Kandva, he looks at this young beautiful woman, Shakuntala, who is roaming in the garden near the ashram, and falls in love with her. In turn, she also falls in love with this young man, who is extremely handsome and courageous and powerful. He has the grace of a king. She also falls in love with him. They both meet each other and they marry in secret. It is called as Gandharva Vivaha. So they marry in secrecy, and the king, Dushyanta, gives her a gift in the form of a ring. And this episode has to come to an end because the king is called at Hastinapur for performing his duties there. So the king returns. While returning, he promises Shakuntala that he will come after some days to take her to his kingdom as his queen. Meanwhile, the king is back in Hastinapur performing his royal duties, and at the same time in the ashram of Kandva, Rishi Kandva has come to know about the secret marriage between Dushyanta and Shakuntala, and he is happy that Shakuntala has married a really noble young man like Dushyanta. But before that, there is an episode which is the key point of the whole drama or of the whole story. This is the curse of Rishi Durvasa. And we know Durvasa is very famous for his anger. If he is angry, he will curse anyone. So once what happens, when Rishi Kandva was not there in the ashram, Rishi Durvasa comes to the hermit of Kandva, and Shakuntala has to look for the she has to arrange welcome for the guest who has come. So she has to show hospitality to the guest who has come to the ashram in the absence of Kandva Rishi. But unfortunately for her, she is missing her husband Dushyanta, and she is lost in his thoughts. He has promised her that he will come back in a few days, but he has not yet returned, and she is thinking of Dushyanta all the time. It is during one of such moments when she is missing the king and remembering him too much, Durvasa has come to her ashram and she fails to treat him with hospitality. Durvasa, whose nature is well known for his anger, immediately gets angry and curses Shakuntala, saying that she should, the man about whom she is thinking will forget her and will forget about their marriage also. Now this comes as a shock to Shakuntala, and she starts repenting for her mistake, and she goes and begs pardon of the Rishi Durvasa and apologizes in front of him. Durvasa says the curse once given cannot be taken back, but he says that there is one option to overcome the effects of this curse, and that option is if the king or if the man whom she is married, if he is shown some sign of love, he will remember her once again. So this is an option. This is like a cure for the curse which Durvasa has told to Shakuntala. So she waits for some more days, and the king does not return to take her back to his kingdom, and the curse is in progress. Curse is working upon Dushyanta and Shakuntala. So everyone waits for the king in the hermitage, but he does not return. So Rishi Kanva decides to send Shakuntala to the kingdom of Dushyanta and tell him about their marriage, their secret marriage. Accordingly, she is sent to the kingdom of Dushyanta, and Dushyanta fails to recognize her. And meanwhile, what has happened is, during the journey, because of some unfortunate event, when she was traveling in the river on a boat, the ring from her finger, which was gifted by Dushyanta, is fallen into the river. So when she comes to the court of King Dushyanta, king fails to recognize her, and she suddenly remembers the cure for the curse, and she tries to look at her finger to get the ring, and thereby she might remind the king about their marriage. But unfortunately, when she looks at her finger, the ring is lost. Now she is totally confused as to what to do, because she has no other option. She has to stay with the king because he is her official or legal husband. But the king refuses her, saying that she is not his wife because he does not remember her. And during this situation, the celestial nymph takes care of Shakuntala. Meanwhile, in the court of Dushyanta, there is something very important happening. One day, a fisherman comes with a ring, and the fisherman, while cutting one of the fishes that he had caught in the river, gets the ring from the stomach of a fish, and he immediately recognizes that it is the ring of the king, and he goes to give back the ring to King Dushyanta. And it is in this episode Dushyanta suddenly remembers that this ring was given by him to his beloved wife Shakuntala, and he starts repenting. He feels that Shakuntala had come back to him, but he had forgotten about everything about her. Now he recollects everything. He sends back people to bring back Shakuntala, and then he accepts her as his wife. And after that, when they start living as husband and wife, they get a son later, and he is named Bharata, who is extremely powerful. He becomes a great emperor, and the story follows. The story of Kuru race or Kuru dynasty follows, and we know the rest of the story. So this is the main version of the story. Of course, there are minute diversions in one or two versions of the story, because in some versions they say that the celestial nymph had not taken away Shakuntala when the king failed to recognize her. And in some stories, the episode of fisherman is not there. In some stories, the episode where Kanva does not know about Dushyanta and Shakuntala's marriage in the beginning is not there. So there are multiple variations to the story, as it is in case of every other mythological tale. But anyway, this is the story which has been taken by our dramatist Kalidasa as the base story for the whole romantic drama of Abhignana Shakuntala. Of course, there are some incidents which he has twisted to show how Dushyanta was a noble king, to show how Dushyanta was a responsible man, and how sometimes even people like a king can be victims of a curse. So there are variations made by Kalidasa himself also in this story. And there is one more episode which has been added in some versions, like when the ring is given to the king by fisherman, he suddenly remembers Shakuntala, and now he is repenting because Shakuntala is taken away by nymph Menaka in the heavenly abode. And to bring her back from heavenly abode, King Dushyanta has to fight a battle against demons, taking the favor of Lord Indra, and he has to win that battle for Indra, after which Indra gets happy, and because of this successful battle, Menaka sends Shakuntala back to earth, and this is also one of the versions that is there in the popular tale of Dushyanta and Shakuntala. So overall the story does not change much. There are some elements which have been dramatized, which have been exaggerated. For example, the discussion that we have, of course I will be discussing that in my next lecture, how this story has been divided into acts, and how the action goes on taking place, and how it reaches the climax in different acts. So we will be discussing that further, but some episodes have been added by Kalidasa himself to amuse the audience. And while dramatist is writing the play, while a playwright is writing the play, and when the director is directing the drama, they have to consider the interest of the audience. So even this is one of the important factors behind the modifications made by dramatists in their stories. So keep this story in your mind as the background story for the whole drama, romantic drama of Abhignana Shakuntala. The plot of the drama, that is, of course it is the same, but how it is represented in the story of this particular drama, we will discuss in our next lecture. So I hope you have understood this story, and I hope you will remember this. Thank you very much.